want to share something with you that I learned from a TED Talk. It's the Middle Eastern, Roman, ancient African idea of a genie. Sometimes it's thought of as an evil spirit that comes upon people, but sometimes it was thought of as a guiding spirit that has taken over the artist, the poet, the singer, the mathematician, the scientist, the creator, to allow them to create something that others can be able to share in and experience. That thought allowed them to be free to understand that whatever they had was a gift, and such as it being a gift, it should be shared with others. And so today I hope to share with you this gift of poetry as a vehicle to allow you to experience and express things that you have felt or thought about, but you might not have the words for, and allow yourself to be immersed in the gift that is poetry. And so this first gift is for you, but it might not be about you. It's a short poem I wrote. The problem with growing up with privilege is that you broke everything, knowing that mommy and daddy would always be able to buy it back. And so you broke your phone and your console, knowing that they would always be able to replace it. The problem is you grew older and started to treat hearts and bodies the same. As if when you break your heart or a body, you can be able to replace it. We tend to love mosaics because they remind us that broken pieces can be made whole and beautiful again, but we forget that the art of mending hearts and bodies is a skill that God never shared with us. Another gift that I thought I would share with you was a gift that I had for myself. I realized in the past 6 years I'd experienced a lot of pain and death, and I hadn't sat down with myself to actually fully immerse myself in this gift, to allow myself to heal and to process it. And so I wrote a poem about death. And so the second gift is for me, but I hope that it's also for you. This poem is about death and resurrection, and my dying to myself, and my acting, and my confidence in being myself. You see, sometimes you act in a manner that you think people must accept you. And so you pretend and pretend, such that the lines between truth and lie are blurred and almost non-existent. And so you wonder how you got yourself here. Did you die? Did you lie? Did you grow and morph into something else? Did you consider yourself a butterfly? Did you learn to fly? Did you die? One of my friends died in a car crash. The car was choked full of college students, drunk, partying, living fast. The car crashed, my friend died. My friend who was driving the car died then, and then too he lost his sense for life. We buried our friend and pretended to live. One of my friends went on a bender after New Year's, as he was known to do, and so none of us worried or panicked until 5 days passed and we hadn't seen or heard from him. We put out a call to see if we could find him, and 5 days later his body was found under a bridge, dead, gone but not forgotten. We buried our friend and pretended to live. After this friend died, I promised myself that I would do a better job at checking up on my friends to make sure that they weren't just living, but were alive. And so we kept on pretending, being the people that our families expected us to be. I put on an act for my father and mother and sister. I put on an act for my friends. I wanted to be like, don't you want to be like? I wanted to be okay, don't you want to be okay? A couple of years later, after we had all been pretending, my friend who was driving the car that crashed and my other friend died in decided that he was going to stop pretending, and so he hanged himself. We buried our friend and continued to pretend to live. When this friend died, I told myself that I would no longer carry the burden of my friend's deaths. You see, when you experience death and pain, things like being liked, like acting, like death, these things and many other things don't matter as much. That part of you dies too, and so I told myself that death is an insatiable beast that will take and not find its place in my heart, and so I would be brave enough to one day be okay, to not have to act. I will be brave enough to accept that I'm not okay, even though I just want to be okay. And so poetry was a vehicle that I used to be able to experience pain and to deal with death. But it was also something that over time I've allowed myself to be able to express the things that I feel, and one of which being love. I got dumped a year ago actually. A story for another day. And I realized that before that I had spent all my time writing love poems. And they were nice and fluffy, but last year I took a whole year to write about everything and anything else in between. And so I wrote about friendship, I wrote about family, I wrote about life, I wrote about death. And poetry was always that one thing I could go back to that allowed me to be able to express myself and to find the words that I could share with others and hopefully connect with others. And so I leave you my last gift. It's not for you, it's for her, but I hope you enjoy it as well. I want to love you the same way the moon loves the sun. Day in and day out, through the times and the seasons, even in the moments where you give me no reason. I want to love you when we grow old and I develop that bag under my eye and you start believing my lies. Our love story will be a story told of how a fierce, fiery Tumbuka phenomenon became the centerpiece of my space. My friend Zelani, she's sitting in the front. She recently told me that my face seems to be glowing ever since I met you. I told her it was probably because I was reflecting your beauty, mimicking the moon as it reflects the sun. Or maybe it is because I am the shine to your moon. I am what the priest used to predict the falling of the rain, the love tears from the gods that water the earth to bring about life. You see, love in you will be nothing short of a rain dance. I want to know the heights with which I can love you like Egyptians building pyramids to worship the sun. You are a goddess and I am a son of a sun. So our love story must have been written in the stars by the very hand of God, I swear. I must have crushed Cupid the first time that I saw him. For all the times he shot me with his arrow and I was looking for love in the wrong places, I made a mess of love. But to be fair, love is like the room of a 14-year-old who doesn't have anything in his place, but if you ask him, he will tell you that he knows exactly where everything is. I made a mess of love, but if you had asked me, I would have told you that I know exactly where everything is. But to be fair, love isn't always tidy. And so I kept my hair uncombed throughout the months of January and February. Kept it so as a token of my love for you, and your love drove me to a desert. And I lived off the sweet honey voice notes that you sent me and the locust swarm of pictures that we took in my phone. And I nicknamed myself John because I am a Baptist after all, and you are like the river Jordan. So I came to you to plunge myself beneath the flood of your care so that I could learn to die to myself and then learn to love you again. And to love you the same way hair food loves nappy hair. In a nurturing and caring kind of way. So that maybe your nappy hair can grow into a dreadlock and we can break the deadlock of loving badly. I badly want to love you. Even when you grow bold and decide to cut your dreadlock off, I want to be bold enough to love you even then. I want to be bold enough to love you the same way a mother loves a child. And just for the record, my mother likes you. If you know anything about her, she doesn't like everyone. Studies show that 97.3% of all females are crazy. So it's a hard study, it wasn't me. And they have at least 3 personalities. So before I get down on one knee and ask you to marry me, I want you to talk me 4 times so that I can learn to love each and every one of your 3 personalities and then learn to love you again. I want to love you the same way the watchmen love to see the dawn. The same way government officials like to see 4 on the clock because to them it is a sign that they're going home. You are what I think about when I hear the words home. The sound of the TV left on, the soft caressing of the carpet floor, the drip in the sink that needs fixing, the calling of my mother in the corridor, the closing of my little sister's door, the softness of my bed, the whistling of the leaves outside, the barking of the dog, the sliding of the gate. You are what I think about when I hear the words home. I wanted to know all the ways with which I could tell you that I loved you, so I signed up for some Swahili, Tumbuka, and French classes so that in them I could learn them so that I could tell you how much I wanted to love you, but still I felt that that wasn't enough, so I connived with the sun, the moon, and the stars, so that every day and night you would look up and read a poem written by me of how much I want to love you, but still I felt that that wasn't enough, so I bribed the air. So that with each breath that you take, you would inhale me and exhale a poem written by me of how much I want to love you. I want to love you as abruptly as this poem ends.